we're going to talk about how to set goals that you'll actually achieve. Now, Lex makes fun of me that I like to use pictures of myself. So I think you guys will laugh throughout the presentation by seeing my face here. All right, so tonight's agenda. So first things first is we're going to talk about what's stopping you from reaching your health and fitness goals in 2025. We're going to talk about some important shifts that you need to make in order to make this next year really successful so you can always stay in that green. All right, then we're going to talk about the new formula for success, which I'm going to give to you tonight. And then I have a free gift for every single one of you that stayed till the end. So make sure that you stay until the end, okay, so you can get the free gift. But again, before we start, I have 2 rules. So rule number 1, okay, this is going to be interactive. I don't want to talk to the screen. I can't see anybody. So it's very hard for me to just talk to the screen. So if you guys have a question or you want me to talk about something, ask. The more you give to me, the more I can give back to you. All right. So if that's fair, let me give everyone a thumbs up here so this way we can stay on track here. All right. Rule number 2, you're going to act. This is the most important one. You won't just listen and leave. I've been to way too many webinars and seminars where you go in, you get really motivated, and then you leave and do nothing. The whole point is that you'll take action and you'll do. Because action is what's going to, hold on, letting somebody in. Because action is what's going to take you to that next level. All right? So, because success comes down to taking action. There you go. All right, so what's holding you back from not getting the results that you want? This is a question that I get asked all the time, or I ask people all the time. What's holding you back? What's stopping you? And I will tell you, it's not the diet. It's not the training, especially if you're training with us. It's not your age. It's not your metabolism or your genetics. It's, can anybody take a guess? It's having a goal without a plan. Now, I know this may sound like, this is nothing new, but a goal without a plan is a wish. And too many of you, I hear it all the time, make wishes. And that's great, but we got to have a goal with a plan that's going to help you get there. Because goals with plans provide direction and purpose. And we need to make sure that we have that. They keep you focused and they keep you motivated. Clear goals are the foundation for your sustainable success in fitness, health, and even in your other areas of your life that you apply these to. So this guy climbed this big rock here and he stuck that flag in the thing. He didn't get there randomly. He had a plan to get to the top, to stick that flag up there. Okay. So same thing with you guys. You got to have a plan. Now, this is, again, we have done thousands of assessments and sit downs with potential people. And I see this all the time. Common things that people like pitfalls when it comes to what the things that are holding them back. A lot of people set what I call vague goals. I want to get in shape. But what the hell does that mean? It doesn't really mean anything. I want to get in shape. So technically, if you did one workout today, you technically are in better shape than you were yesterday. Or they have lack of a plan. I'll get in shape. I'll just go to the gym. How many people leave AB Fitness and they're like, okay, I'm just going to go to the gym now. And they have no plan. Or they set unrealistic expectations. Well, I'm going to lose 30 pounds in 2 weeks. They have no accountability. No one will notice if I skip. Now, my question for you guys is, have you faced any of these challenges before? Have you set goals that might have not been vague and then been frustrated when you didn't hit them? I've done this so many times. I think I still do it a little bit. I have pictures of Arnold in my room and I say, okay, I want to look like Arnold. But that's not really a goal, right? It's just something that I would attain to do, but it's not specific enough to help me get to where I got to go. So what are some of the vague goals that you guys have made in the past? If you guys want to either shout them out or you could chat them, write them in the chat. Let's see anyone's face. Just lose weight. Yep, that's a good one. Again, I just want to lose weight. Lose weight in a short amount of time for an event. That's a really good one. That one's always a catch-22 too. Because again, we have that event in our mind. So it's like, okay, I'm going to lose weight to the event, and you're really motivated to the event, and then the event comes, and then the event's over, and then you have nothing else to look forward to. Yeah, lose inches and weight. Yep, that's another vague one. Lose weight. Yep. So it's a common thing that we've all done. It's a common thing that happens all the time. All right, let me move this. So we got to turn those can'ts to cans, and this is how we're going to do it. So this is called the SMART framework. And I wish I was smart enough to invent this, but I didn't. So I stole this from somebody. But you guys got to start setting SMART goals. Now, what does SMART goals mean? Well, it means specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. And I'm going to explain what this all means, but I want you guys to take a second to really think about this. SMART goals. Is it a specific goal? Is it measurable? Is it something that you can actually attain? Is it relevant to where you're going to go? That's kind of an obvious one. And then is it time-based? So setting up a time frame to hit that in. So I'm going to show you guys bad examples that are now improved using that SMART goals. So if someone says, I want to lose weight, well, you would change that, again, using that acronym SMART. I will lose 10 pounds in 16 weeks by working out at AB 3 times a week and meal prepping 3 meals a day. Now, this is specific. It's measurable, 10 pounds, 16 weeks, 3 meals a day, meal prepping, working out 3 times a week. Okay. Is it attainable? Yes, because healthy weight loss is about a pound a week, give or take. So that's definitely attainable. 10 pounds should take 10 weeks. So this is definitely attainable. Is it relevant? Obviously, if your goal is to lose weight, then yes, it's relevant. And time-based. You gave yourself 16 weeks to do it. So this goal went from I want to lose weight to now it's much more specific that now we can actually measure this and see what's going on here. Another one, I want to get healthy. And this is the one that I see all the time. Okay, but what does that mean? If you work out today, technically you're healthier today than you were yesterday. But when someone says, I want to get healthy, a better goal will be, I will improve my A1C levels by my next doctor appointment in May by strength training at AB Fitness, twice per week while eating 120 grams of lean protein per day. So if we go through the acronym again, SMART. So is this specific? It's very specific. So I'm going to lower my A1C. So if my A1C was at 5.8, it's going to be lower than that the next time I check it at the doctor in May. How are you going to do that? By strength training at AB Fitness twice a week, and then while eating 120 grams of protein a day. So it's definitely measurable. It's definitely attainable. It's realistic and relevant to the goals, and it's time-based. So you gave yourself by May, well, in this case, by May, or whatever that is. Unless it's April, then, obviously it might not be so time-based, but you get the idea. So when we do this, we're able to break our goals into much more actionable steps. So larger goals can feel overwhelming. So when you do this, you break them into manageable milestones. So I want to lose weight. Now, if we make it a specific, I want to lose 20 pounds. If you break that into a small manageable milestone, that's okay. I want to lose 20 pounds over 40 weeks. Now you have some wiggle room there, and it makes it much more sustainable and much more manageable for you. Whereas if you just set a goal of I want to lose 50 pounds or whatever that number is, and it's random and you just keep that thing ever eluding in your mind, it's not going to be a good thing and you're going to fail. So we want to set you up for not failure. We want to set you up for success. By focusing on daily or weekly habits, that's what's going to lead to long-term success. So if we go back, this one right here, the second one, I'll improve my A1C by my next doctor's appointment by strength training twice a week. So that's something that we can measure, and by eating 120 grams of protein a day. And specifically, I wrote here lean protein, but you get the idea because now I can measure that and say, okay, did I actually eat the lean protein? Did I work out at AB Fitness twice a week? So it helps you to focus on what has to be done. And we'll talk about this in a little bit. I have this covered going forward. So a good example of this is I want to lose 15 pounds in 3 months. So you can break that down. So what we would focus on the weekly is 3 workouts a week. You'd meal prep 3 meals per day, and you would hit 7,000 steps a day. So now your daunting goal of losing the 20 pounds that never comes off, you broke it down into actionable steps that can be taken every day. That's pretty simple, right? 3 workouts. Somebody could commit to 3 workouts a week. They could commit to meal prepping 3 meals per day, and they could do 7,000 steps a day. It's not unrealistic to do that. And some of you might be saying, oh, well, I'm too busy to meal prep 3 meals a day. I posted today almost all of my meals. Actually, I didn't post the last one yet, but they literally have taken me 10 to 15 minutes to prepare. So it doesn't have to be an elaborate process when it comes to meal prepping. But you guys get the idea. You want to take your big goal and chunk it down into something that you can measure on a weekly basis. So this way you can check the box and say, I did this. Now, I've helped thousands and thousands of people transform their bodies. And most of the time, people pay attention to the wrong things. So they pay attention to what I call the lagging indicators for success. So I want you guys to do the opposite. I want you to focus on these leading indicators for success to get to those lagging indicators. So what does that actually mean? So lagging indicators, like I said, are something that you shouldn't be focusing on. That's the scale, clothes, body fat, inches lost, strength gains. That's not something that you should really be focusing on a daily basis, because those goals happen because of the leading indicators. These are the things that make you get there. So, example, your leading indicators for success are doing 2 to 4 strength sessions per week, improving your what I call your fitness IQ, or learning more about fitness and learning more about what's going on, reading our emails, interacting with your trainers, hitting your nutrition goals, hitting your water intake. Those little things help you to hit those bigger things faster. So if your goal is to lose 30 pounds, you can't keep focusing on the weight on the scale, because that's a lagging indicator for success. It happens as a byproduct of these leading indicators, which again, in that case, if you're trying to lose weight, well, then that's, 2 to 4 strength sessions per week, improving your fitness IQ and learning how to read food labels and diving into everything that we send you. That's the way you do it. So focusing on those things, hitting your step intake, all those things are leading indicators for success. So you can't just look at the scale and say, that's it. It's all those things that lead up to that number. So instead of paying attention to the scales, clothes, body fat, inches, instead focus on the habits that you're doing every day, because by focusing on those habits every day, when you look up after a couple of weeks of doing that, then the scale will cooperate with what you want. Now, there really is only one way to overcome failure and to guarantee your success, right? There's going to be obstacles that get in the way. There's never, ever, ever a perfect time for fitness. There's always going to be something. It's never going to be the perfect time to do anything, anything in life, actually, because something is always going to get in your way. Whether if you have a family, it's going to be stuff at home. And maybe it's work. Maybe it's an injury. Maybe a surgery. Maybe this, maybe that. But life is always going to get in the way. But if you really want success on the other side of that, you're going to have to find a way to overcome that. So first things first, you have to expect challenges and plan for them. Like I said, it's never going to be a perfect time. All of the people that reached out to us in December that wanted to get started at AB Fitness and then decided to wait for the new year, well, guess what? They still haven't started. You guys are already way past those people. But that's my point, is that they're waiting for the perfect time. That perfect time is never coming. You're never going to not be doing anything. That's the reality. That's the reality that we live in. So expect those challenges and plan for them. And if you can be successful during the craziest times, you're going to be successful when it's lighter in your schedule too. And this falls back to what I just said, where it's like, we got to focus on the progress, not on the perfection of it. So, okay, maybe you miss hitting your step goal this week, right? You were busy, you missed it. Okay, but maybe you still were able to focus more on your nutrition. Maybe you were still able to come to AB Fitness. So focus on that progress that you've made instead of focusing on just being perfect every single time, because it's never going to happen. I have days where I mess up all the time. Nobody believes me when I tell you that happens, but I have them. I'm human. It's normal, but I don't focus on that. And I just focus on just that daily leading indicators for my success and the little goals that I set every day for myself that I have to achieve fitness wise. And again, if you miss a day, just get back on track without feeling guilty. Most of the time we beat ourselves up, and it's a problem. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but that's exactly what this comes down to. A lot of the times we battle this mental game in our head. Oh, I'm working out really hard, so I really feel like that I should be further ahead than where I am. Or, oh, I want this better. I want this more, you know, I should have this already. The things that I've heard people say, you have to, it all starts up here, right? You have to start with being positive and talking to yourself positively. Stopping the negative talk. I hear the way a lot of you guys speak things about yourself. I can never do that. No, I don't want to do that. But that negative talk really, really affects your mental state, right? You're beating yourself up for no reason. Listen, everybody's hard on themselves. Everybody expects more out of themselves. That's totally normal. But by that negative self-talk, all you're doing is re-talking yourself out of getting the thing that you actually want. And I used this example today when I was talking to somebody, but you wouldn't talk to your significant other that way. So don't talk to yourself that way. You know, if your significant other told you, "Hey, I can't do this," you would never turn around and be like, "Nah, you can't do that. You're lazy. You can't do that. There's no way." You would never say that to your significant other. So why would you say that to yourself? So this is what most of you guys look like, but I want to turn that frown upside down there. So no more. Watch what you say to yourself and just always manage to look and say, okay, I had a mess up, but I'm moving on. People think success is linear, or just a straight line. I start at AB Fitness, I lose a bunch of body fat, I change my body, I get healthy, whatever, and I just stay there. That's not what success is. I work out for 1 week, I should be down 1 pound. It doesn't work like that. It has to do with, again, like I told you, those leading indicators for success. And success doesn't work like that. Success in fitness is like a plant. You have to kind of plant those seeds in the ground and those roots start to take shift, and then it takes time for that to grow. So I have somebody planted a bamboo tree in my yard years ago, apparently. And I looked it up because it's really annoying and I wanted to get rid of it. But apparently bamboo, once it's planted, nothing happens. And then all of a sudden at year 5, it just grows like crazy. It grows like exponentially. So the person who planted it initially, maybe they planted one thing and then nothing happened and kept planting them. And all of a sudden they sprouted up like crazy. So that's kind of like what it is in fitness. It's like you have to build these little habits that happen underneath the ground that no one sees. But then all of a sudden, 3 months later, they see you and they're like, wow, look at you. You look great. What are you doing? And it's because you're doing all those little things behind the scenes and putting in the work when no one's watching. You know, it reminds me of that famous quote of Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant used to have a thing where he would do a full practice, and I'm sure everybody on this call knows who Kobe Bryant is. He's a basketball player who was really famous. He died not too long ago, but he would put in an extra practice in the morning. So at 4 a.m., he would get up and do a practice from 4 to 6. The whole team would start practicing, I think, at like 10. So he had one practice before everybody else in the day. So everybody was doing 2 practices. He was doing 3. So he was doing the work when no one was watching. But when we see it on TV or watch it as a spectator in the stands, we're like, wow, this guy's great. He must wake up like that. It's like, no, he puts in a lot of work that no one's seeing. And it's the same thing with your fitness. A lot of your success is going to come when no one's looking. Are you tracking your protein? Are you tracking your calories? Are you doing your steps at home? Are you drinking your water? Are you being consistent coming to AB Fitness? These are the things that no one's watching. But when they do see you months later, after you've been putting in that work, they're like, wow, what have you been doing? What's your secret? Now, all of a sudden, it's a secret. But there is no secret. It's just you've been putting in the work day after day that no one's watching for. So you have to let AB Fitness water and nurture the seeds of your success so that you can gain ultimate control of your health and fitness. Now, this is the power of accountability. And this is why having AB Fitness in your corner is so important. You know, our goal as trainers, and mine especially, is to be able to teach people how to do this for life. Because the whole old expression, if you give someone a fish, they eat for a day. But if you teach them how to fish, they eat for a lifetime. The problem is that most of you can pretty much at this point, some of you who have been with us for years can probably go and do this on your own. But reality, there's something with having accountability and having someone in your corner that makes it so, so much more important. Because now you have somebody who you're accountable to. It allows you to not make silly, irrational, feelings-based decisions. And I like to call this insurance to get your feelings against your feelings. I always say we make decisions off of data, which is why we have an app, which is why you guys track everything, because it gives us more data like I talked about in the beginning, about how to make the best decision for you going forward. Most of the time, if I listen to how I feel, I'd probably be asleep most of the day. But I don't pay attention to those feelings. I pay attention to the data. Well, the work still has to be done. Like I told you, if we're planting the seeds, we got to water the seeds, we got to take care of them. It's the same thing with your fitness. You can't do anything by feel. You just got to kind of show up. Right? But that's what that is. It's like sometimes we feel like I feel like I should be more ahead. I feel like I'm not making progress. I feel like I want to quit. It's insurance against those feelings. Because if we listen to that negative mental self-talk, like I talked about, you're going to be screwed. Again, at AB Fitness, we help you form the habits needed for success faster by educating you. All of you that are on here tonight are learning more and educating yourself. You're improving your fitness IQ, which is the goal. Because if you can improve your fitness IQ, you can tackle these issues and these challenges that come at you in life a lot easier, because now you know what it takes to be successful. It's not just showing up to the gym. It's doing all the work when no one's watching you. And to be honest, when you pay for something, you pay attention. This is why gyms don't work. A regular gym model is they want you to pay and not pay attention, because that's how they make their money. If every member at a gym showed up to the gym would have to close because there would be too many people in. When I worked at a big box gym, I think there was like 5,000 active members, active meaning their credit card was still rolling. But I think only out of the 5,000, I think only like 1,500 came in regularly. So now imagine if 4,000 extra members showed up to the gym. So that's why gyms don't work. They bank on the fact that you're not going to come in. But when you pay for personal training, you have no choice but to show up. And when you invest in yourself, you force yourself to make uncomfortable changes in the gym. I've seen some of you guys outside of the gym at other gyms working out, and it's not the same as when you're at AB Fitness. We went through a whole period of time where we had to do everything on the computer and watch people work out through the screen, and it was not the same as being in the gym. When you're in the gym, you have somebody watching everything you're doing, and it's investing in yourself to make sure, like, hey, when Mike tells you, hey guys, look, you could use a little bit of a heavier dumbbell, you take the advice. But if you're doing it at home, or at the gym, you might just be content with doing whatever. And then again, like I said, coaches in your corner to, ensure your form is good, challenging you and keeping you safe. That's the most important thing, is keeping you safe. But this is, again, the power of accountability and why it's so important, because you can get results in half the time it would normally take you. And I like to call this the Biggest Loser phenomenon. Now, I don't know. I don't even know if Biggest Loser is still even out. I don't even know if it's still a show. But the Biggest Loser was a TV show where they put these, people, and they would lose a bunch of weight really quickly. And what happened was, I don't remember the details off my head, but I think the show was like 12 weeks long. And these people would go on and they would lose as much weight as possible by the 12 weeks. And whoever lost the most won. Almost every single one of the winners gained back all of their weight plus. So they call it the Biggest Loser phenomenon. You guys can actually Google that and you'll see it. But most of them who won gained everything back. Why? It's because they didn't have the trainers yelling at them. They didn't have the trainers to tell them to not eat that. And they were forced to make those changes. Now, we don't want to force you to do these things, but we want to teach you how to build these habits so you do them automatically. So I've been doing this for a lot of years. I've been working out for well over 20 years. And for me now, to look at a label is like common sense. Like I just look at it, I know what I'm looking at, and I moved away. But it's a habit. It didn't happen overnight. In the beginning, I was so confused. I didn't know what was right. I'd have somebody in the gym telling me to do this. I had this magazine telling me to do that. I didn't know. But you guys know, because you have the coaches in your corner to help you with all of this. So again, we want to teach you and make all these things habits for you. So this way, and you can rattle them off and you know exactly what you need to do to get to success. Those leading indicators for success, those little points that we talked about. So if we kind of slow down and step back, if we take the goal, and then we'll just make it easy here. I want to lose 30 pounds in 12, and I want to lose 30 pounds in 30 weeks by going to AB Fitness 3 times a week, walking 10,000 steps every day, and eating 150 grams of protein. So if that was my goal, now I can check the box every day and say, okay, did I eat 150 grams of protein every day? Check. Did I walk 10,000 steps? Well, I did it 6 days this week, not 7. Okay, I got to get better for next week. You have your points to be, those are the things that's going to get you to lose that weight. Not just, oh, I want to lose 30 pounds. Like I said, a goal without a plan is a wish. So no wishing, just make it concrete for yourself. It's not that hard. You just have to break it down so it's simple. And again, this is what we help you guys do, obviously. So the most important word in fitness, all right? Now, probably some of you who've trained with me in the room know that it's probably my most important phrase in fitness is, okay, one more. But the most important word in fitness is habit. Now, for those of you that don't know what habit means, habits mean a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. Now, before I lose you and you get tired, because this is like, okay, it's habit. I don't need you to teach me this, Anthony. Habits last through the hard times. So that means that no matter if life takes a spin, somebody gets sick, a death in the family, change of job, kids stuff, the habits can't be broken. So this is why habits are so important when it comes to success. Because if these things are habits, it's never something that you have to actually think about. I told you with me, I look at a label, I know what I'm looking at, it's habit. I know how much protein I need, I can eyeball it at this point, it's habit. Now, for those of you who have kids, you guys know when you have kids, one of the major things you try to teach them is to brush their teeth. I deal with it with my son every day now still. He's going to be 7. Anthony, go brush your teeth. Anthony, go brush your teeth. Anthony, did you brush your teeth? Let me smell your mouth. Let me make sure that you brush your teeth. But why am I doing that? Because I'm trying to drill the habit to him so that when he's 27, he has teeth in his mouth and he has good hygiene. Same thing with a lot of you guys. I'm sure your parents did the same thing to you. Now you don't have to think about brushing your teeth. It happens no matter what. And if you didn't do it, you probably feel disgusted. We want that to happen with your fitness. If you don't hit your protein, we want you to feel disgusted so you hit your protein. And listen, if you've been doing this for a long amount enough time and you've been doing it the right way like we teach you, if you don't hit those leading indicators for success, you do start to feel like shit. So it is the same thing. Because I know for myself, if I had to take a month off, I would definitely feel like shit, especially a month from everything. Forget it. I would not be myself. So that's the goal, is to make you feel like shit if you miss these things. Now, habit equals this. A lot of you guys from Massapequa know Amy's story. This didn't happen out of accident. This was habits. Dana, everybody knows Dana's story too. Habit. Nancy, who's on this call, habit. Tara and Woody, 1,000 sessions, habits. If they don't work out for a little bit, they feel it. Paul, habit. Susan, habit. Funny enough, she lost a whole half of her body there. She just blends in with the wall. When I posted this picture on here, I'm like, oh, where's her legs? We're so good at AB Fitness, she lost her legs. But you guys get the idea. Habits, habits, habits. This is why habits are so important. And again, we've helped well over 1,000 people transform their bodies. And again, I can tell you, success doesn't happen on accident. It's not genetics. It's not age. It's not work schedule. None of it matters. It boils down to this formula. So I want you guys to grab a piece of paper because we're going to write this down. Okay, this is the formula in order that we use to help all of these transformations and go from one facility. Well, actually went from my garage to 1 facility to 2 facilities to 3 facilities. We didn't get there because I wished for it. We got there because we help people. And this is the formula. And that's Noelle, actually. So Noelle, who's creeping up on 1,000 sessions now. She's getting her way there. But again, habit. She didn't get there overnight. So this is the formula. So for those of you who are ready to write this down, write this down. Showing up and making all your sessions. This is so important. I don't care what happens in your week. Everybody's busy, but we all have the same 24 hours in a day. The sessions are 30 minutes. If you're committing to 2, 3, 4, show up, make the sessions. For some of you, this is not an issue. For others, it might be a big issue. So show up and make all your sessions. Now, I already know I'm going to get ahead of some of you. Well, my neck is bothering me today, or I slept wrong and my back's been bothering me. Well, if you have an injury, something's bothering you, you don't have to skip, because we know. I teach them. I have taught every trainer what to do to get around any type of injury. So they know. They know. Funny enough, we actually had a client who he broke his ankle outside in the gym. And he was in the gym the other day. Like, that's great. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want to do, because there's so much that you can do. You don't need your foot for anything. We got you. But this is what instigates success: habits. Remember, a habit is something, if you stop doing it, you'd be disgusted if you didn't do it anymore. So that's good. That's what we want. The other one, eat 1 gram per pound of body weight in protein. Everyone's a little bit different, but that's a good general rule to start with, even on the bad days. So if you weigh 150 pounds, eating about 120 to 150 grams of protein every day, even on the days that you don't feel like it. So important. Protein has an effect. When you eat it, it helps you to burn off more body fat. Your body has to heat up a little bit to burn it off. So you burn more calories by having that protein. So it's so, so important to eat your protein. So if you're not eating your protein, you're not tracking it or not even paying attention to it, this is something that you want to definitely implement immediately. Remember, I told you, though, if I was going to come on here and teach you guys this, I want you guys to take the action necessary to make those changes. So if you're not doing that, you got to make sure that you do it every day. The next one, making sure that you interact with what we're doing, watching all of our content, improving your fitness IQ. That's what I call it, your fitness IQ. If I send you an email and I'm explaining something in email, I expect you to read it because I want to teach you something. My goal is to teach you. My goal is to teach you how to fish. And the only way you can do that is if you use the content that we give you. If I post something about a meal plan, or if I post something about a workout, if I post something about how to meal prep, consume that stuff, take it, use it, and take action on it. Learn. Because again, this is going to help you to improve those habits, so this way you get to your goal faster. Now, based on what we discussed, you could write this down and we'll talk about it at the end. But what do you feel like you need to do to step up your game here? So out of all these things that I've listed, I guess out of anything that I've said, I want you to write it down. What's the thing that you feel like you need to do to step up your game and get yourself to the next level in 2025?